Thank you for joining us, and if you have yet to subscribe to the channel, please do. Now, throughout this series, you've heard me say a lot about a guy named T Streets. T Streets, I believe, was a friend of Zack TV's, and I believe this now, and I believed this then when it all went down. That T Streets was a friend of Zack TV that caught a bad rap, that was accused, that had to defend himself. Aside from Zack TV himself, T Streets is a big reason I made this series, because I believe the man was killed over gossip, rumors, misinformation, and just plain ignorance from people on the internet and in the street that refuse to think, that refuse to be patient, that refuse to investigate. I believe a whole bunch of YouTube creators spread a lot of the information that people ran with that branded T Streets a setup man. And the day he died, they all backed up into the bushes and said, I can't believe anybody's blaming us. The city, the streets already know. No, it's just there's dummies in the streets and there's dummies on the internet. And you dummies get people killed, and then you don't want to hear somebody check you on it. You don't want to take no accountability for it. The lady who makes these videos, she said, a lot of you people think we sitting here playing detective. Well, if that's what you think, that's what we're doing over here. If you don't like it, push on. Well, you're not a detective. You're not even that bright. You're not smart enough to crack a case. You're not smart enough to cover every detail. Do I believe that you got to be a cop or an investigator or detective? No, you just got to have a little common sense. And if you lack common sense, you lack everything after that. So I've always said that if T Streets didn't die by something he had going on, if it wasn't the collateral damage of something he was already into, and it was solely because people said that he set up Zack TV, well, then T Streets was killed for all the wrong reasons, and his memory was unceremoniously thrown in the trash. The lesson that comes with what happened to him was unceremoniously thrown in the trash by YouTubers that just backed up in the bushes and kept it moving. So let's get into it. Witness statement number 5, T Streets family shares valuable info. Let's see what we got.
Now, I know this is going to be a hot topic for some, but it is what it is, man. Like, you going to get it the way I give it to you, you know. And
she like talking slick, talking tough, like she's actually doing something. You're not really doing nothing.
We got some information from a guy in Chicago. Remember this?
I'm telling y'all, I know what y'all did, son. Y'all know what y'all did.
Another bum. Just some random dude. I know what y'all did. I know what y'all did. I got the video. Where you at? Where's the video? Where's the video at that you've been talking about? It's 2023. We still ain't seen the video. You remind me of a dude that screamed that he killed Nipsey Hussle minutes after Nipsey died, and he had nothing to do with it. Just a clown on the internet that people give credit to.
Tag names on it. No, boy.
Yeah. Now, need I remind y'all, we got some smart motherfuckers here in these YouTube streets. I promise y'all that.
You promised me? Where they at? I ain't seen them. You not one of them.
And all you had was a situation where put 2 and 2 together.
And got 17. Different theories, different killers, different stories. I don't understand it.
We took the information that was given to us by that guy in Chicago. Y'all heard it about the video being tagged in it. Then we compared it to the last video that Zack took with tagged in it.
And what'd you come up with?
2 plus 2 equals 4.
What'd you come up with? What you come up with? You came up with 2 plus 2 equals 4. Big deal.
I mean, unless Zack recorded some other and tagged them in the video. This was the video that we got. Okay? And
we got this one. We didn't get the other one. This is the one we got. We didn't get the video dude was talking about, but we got this one that has nothing to do with that one.
In my opinion, this was a 2 plus 2 equals 4
what
situation.
That mean? What?
So it was kind of like, damn, he must be talking about these niggas right here.
Anybody could tag anybody in the video. He said he had a video. Let's go back and really listen to what he said. Let's go back real quick.
Guy in Chicago, remember this?
I'm telling y'all, I know what y'all did, son. Y'all know what y'all did. Everybody here knows something, son. I believe that. Was gonna put a snippet of showing who it was, but that's too much like snitching to me.
I was gonna put up a snippet showing who they was, but that's too much like snitching to me.
Now I got the video in my phone, son.
Got the video on my phone, son. So in your 2-year-old opinion, my bad, your 2 plus 2 opinion, the video dude had in his phone that he was gonna put it out there, but that's too much like snitching, right? So you're telling me he got that video from Zack's Instagram stories? So what's the big revelation here? What did he reveal? He revealed nothing. He revealed that these were the dudes that were with Zack that night. The dudes that you saw in the video scrambling back and forth, and you wondered, who's that? What are they doing? He's shooting, y'all. We got a shooter. Shut up.
So it was kind of like, damn, he must be talking about these right here.
Yeah, he must
Had to
have.
be. We were still trying to figure out who the this was at the scene. We still didn't have a clue who this was.
You're right. You didn't know who this was. You had no clue who it was, but you accused him of all kind of stuff. As far as you were concerned, there was a shooter off in the bushes on the left side. As far as you concerned, the dude in the front seat might have been robbing him. As far as you concerned, dude right here threw his hand up and shot. The other dude was footworking. As far as you could tell, the back of the car had no damage, the back of the Chevy. As far as you know, they mounted up into a beige van. That's not a beige van, it's a car. You don't know. You didn't know. If you would have took your time, if you would have waited, if you would have really investigated, you would have known eventually, but you didn't know. You spoke like the rest of them spoke. You're not alone. When I talk, I'm talking in general to all of you bums. Call it what you want.
The further we looked into the group of guys from Zack's video matched the group of guys at the scene.
The further you looked into it? Or you mean as more information came out that you didn't have, that you spoke on without having?
The group of guys in Zack's video and what they were wearing matched the group of guys at the scene. And that's it, and that's all. 2 plus 2 equals.
And that's it, and that's so what? 2 plus 2 equals what did you figure out? You keep saying this 2 plus 2, this is all you got. What do you have? What did you put together? Oh, these guys were with Zack. Evidently he filmed them and he tagged them. Evidently those were his people. What did you put together? What did you uncover here? Nothing.
We wanted to know if any of these guys had anything to do with what happened to Zack. Whether it be, if they were the shooters, if they were part of the setup, whatever the case may have been, we had already placed these at the scene. That part, we already had that part figured out, that they were there. Why were they there is what we began to question.
Why were they there is what they began to question. Why were they in Zack's stories? Why did Zack tag them? Why were they there? Why do they have microphones in their hands? Why are they rapping? I wonder why. It's just not obvious. I just can't see it. I don't understand why. What were they doing there? We'll probably never know. F***ing idiots. So I said this in another video for context. This is T Streets. Between him dying and Zack dying, he went and got a Zack TV tattoo on his back. And at this time that he did this, he had already been accused of setting up Zack. He was accused of being the reason Zack was no longer with us. Then when he went and got the tattoo, everybody said, well, he did that to make himself not look guilty. What if it was real love? I got rest in peace tattoos. What if it was real love? The man go and get a tattoo in tribute to his homeboy, and everybody says, oh, he just went and got that so that we don't look at him as the setup man. Y'all stupid. Y'all got the man killed. As far as I'm concerned. Again, if I'm greeted with any new evidence that takes me off of that, I'll leave it alone. But as of right now, and as of then, when it happened, it bothered me. It bothered me to no end that the hood was on this man's back without knowing. Same thing happened to Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke had a friend that was like a brother. That dude's persecuted and outcast now and didn't do a thing. It's quite a big tattoo for a cover-up, huh? And I don't mean a tattoo cover-up, a cover-up of a setup where you got your man's killed. It's pretty big.
In honor of Zack, okay? But that still didn't answer the question as to why was he at the scene.
It didn't. Tattoo didn't. The video didn't. The story where Zack is tagging him in it, it didn't make sense to you why he was at the scene. I don't know, man. Maybe he rode in the passenger side with Zack to the venue. Maybe he rode in the back seat. Maybe he rode in AMG Fresh's car. Maybe they met up. Oh, I forgot. What'd you say? What was that line of yours? Met up equals set up. Shut your dumb ass up.
What role did he play in all of this? We were still asking that question.
You still asking it? Who'd you ask?
His name kept popping up. His name kept being thrown around.
Who was throwing it around? You, Straight Drop, all the other guys that you've been name dropping throughout these videos. They was throwing it around. Y'all were throwing it around. Y'all were throwing it around. The streets was throwing it around too. The equivalent of y'all that don't have a YouTube channel that's outside, they were saying the same stupid shit.
T Street felt like he needed to go to the police station and tell us this.
He couldn't figure out what to do to get y'all off his back. The man, before he died, did not even get a chance to mourn his friend thoroughly. Real talk.
Oh yeah, you know it's these, man. I ain't worried about these. It's just They got the police coming knocking on my door because these goofy ass bloggers.
She's about to take zero accountability, I am sure. Pretty sure she's about to take offense to what he just said about these bloggers, right?
T Streets wanted people to believe that he was hemmed up at that motherfucking police station because the motherfuckers on YouTube said he was at the scene. And I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that. When I first saw this video that T Streets did at the police station, I just felt like this was a bad move. I didn't know why at the time, but I felt like oh my God, like this just was not a good move.
Let me ask you, did you make any moves that you thought weren't good moves, or were all your moves perfect? Because I ain't seen you make 30 mathematical errors. What about your moves? Forget about his moves. What about your moves?
And then I woke up one day to the news that T Streets had been killed.
And what did you care? You didn't. What responsibility did you take? None. Of course, it's ridiculous to think that YouTubers had anything to do with this.
And I ain't gonna lie, that shit shook me a little bit. You know what I mean? I felt bad. And then to know that he died on the day of Zack's funeral, I mean, all kind of went through my head, man. Social media went crazy with that because then what you heard was, oh, some YouTubers got him killed. Like, y'all got him killed. Y'all got blood on y'all hands. Like, what? Like, you serious? Like, no, that ain't what just happened here.
No? Explain to me what just happened here.
His family began to speak. And this is one of the posts that caught my attention. This post was made by T Street's cousin named Rachel. And this is what she had to say.
I'm going to say this, then I'm going to delete this post. His family went off the fact that my cousin was in the car with Zack when he was murdered. Then they saw a video from my cousin and Zack's other friend get out of the car and get in another car. They never asked him when went on and why he left. When Zack was shot, they checked Zack 3 times to see if he would respond, but he was already dead. Let's stop right there for a second. You in a scramble. Van comes by, lights y'all up. Your homeboy gets shot in the head and the neck. He wrecks. Y'all jump out. Y'all in a panic. You don't know if they gonna bend the block, come back and air you out again, because they know that you wrecked. You know you gotta get out of there, but you not sure. You don't want to leave your homeboy there alive. You go and you check on him 2, 3 times. You drive off. Did Zack's family go the path of least resistance? Go on their first thought? Oh, he was with him. Must have been him. T Street's cousin seems to think so. What she just said seems logical. Let's pick up where we left off. My cousin immediately called his dad and my older brother when the shooting happened before he got out the car. My cousin left because he already has 2 felonies and his own paper. He couldn't stay for the police. The car that they got in was his homeboy's baby mama car, which I would say is AMG Fresh's baby mama's car. There's been rumor that he got into the shooter's car. The shooter drove a black Chevy. His homeboy baby mama was trailing them the whole time. So she was right there when everything happened. And what you see in the video is them after they checked to see if he was dead or alive. Even the cousin got it wrong. Because again, I believe that black Chevy had nothing to do with the murder of Zack TV. But even the cousin mentions it here. She's making it clear the homeboy, which should have been AMG Fresh, and his baby mama had 1 car. And then there was the black Chevy. She believes the shooter was in the black Chevy. And at this point, when she put out this statement, nobody knew about the gold van.
So a couple things stood out to me about this post. And the most important, to me anyway, was the fact that she confirmed to us that not only was T Streets at the scene, he was a passenger in Zack's car.
You didn't know that?
You understand what I'm saying?
You didn't put 2 and 2 together when Zack put him in his story?
She just said that he was a passenger in Zack's car. Then she also said there was another. So she's basically telling us 2 was in the car with Zack when he was shot and killed. Then she said that Zack's family went off the fact that they saw them getting out of Zack's car and getting into another car. I didn't see no video of them hopping out of the car. Now, I seen the video of them going back and forth. But I was wondering, like, what video did they see?
That's my point. You had no context for the things that you said. You seen them going back and forth between the cars, but that video didn't come on until after they had hopped out the car, which implies to me that seconds of footage matter. Seconds of footage are important. They give context. If seconds earlier you would have saw Zack's car doors open up and them jump out, you would have had more context to speak the things that you were speaking, but you didn't have that. You were just running your mouth.
She said T Streets called his dad and her older brother when the shooting happened, but before he got out of the car.
She doesn't know that. She doesn't know if he was in the car, out the car. She just knows that he called. He could have been on the phone with them back and forth when they were running in and out, running back and forth between the two cars. We don't know that. She's talking. She's an emotional cousin. She's defending her cousin. You know what I'm saying? She don't know that. She said the things that matter. That they never asked him what went on, why he left. That everybody just assumed.
So think about this for a minute. So the shooting takes place. T Streets had time to make a phone call?
Yes, he had the time to make a phone call. He had the time while the bartender that supposedly heard the shots was turning around at his bar. He had the time while the lady was walking into the subway and having the conversation with the manager. He had the time while the guy in the high rise was opening and closing sliding doors after he heard the multiple shots and then turned on his camera, or after he heard the multiple shots and went and looked out the window and then came back and turned on his camera and then slid his sliding door in the clicks to try to shut the door. He had all of that time to call the people that he trusted the most for whatever kind of advice he could get. He had time. There was time. You didn't see all that time in between running back and forth in the cars? You didn't see all that time? Shut up.
Like, that part just confused the hell out of me. So he made a phone
It should confuse you. 2 plus 2 confuses you.
call before he got out of the car. She tells us that the shooter drove the black Chevy. So I'm like, okay, so we suspected that.
You suspected that? She said that. You're all wrong.
His cousin gave us a lot of information. And understand this, we didn't find this shit out until after T Streets died.
You mean till after y'all got T Streets killed? That what you mean?
But trust and believe that niggas in Chicago already knew what it was.
See, that's what they do to make sure that they can sleep at night. They say people in Chicago knew already. Yeah. People cut from the same cloth that you're cut from. The same, no discernment, no investigation, undetailed, Monday morning quarterback, backseat driver, fake detectives like you in the street. Yeah, they knew about it too. And it makes you feel better at night for you to say YouTubers had nothing to do with it. The streets already knew. Man, we only got this information after T Streets died. Damn! After we got T Streets killed, now we get the information. I wish we'd have got this information before we got T Streets killed. Whatever works for you, whatever makes you feel better, whatever helps you sleep at night. Thank you for joining us, and if you have yet to subscribe to the channel, please do. Peace.